Welcome to the must-see NWR7 talk show in history. Welcome to The Rundown. I'm Cody Dzis. Follow the Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. It'll all be the same handle at NWR7 _ The Rundown. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Please follow this channel. Career enhancing, career enlightening. Now, what I'm going to be talking about today is the boys and girls states round 1 games and the girls volleyball states round 1 game. We're going to talk all about that and what happened during these events, and we're also going to cover the Q&A. Only 2 questions this week, but nonetheless we have 2 questions. Let's get right to it with the girls and boys soccer team. So the girls for round 1, they had to start their states road against Tolland at home. Originally it was going to be at home, but then it got moved to Torrington High School because of field conditions. Nonetheless, 3-0 loss against Tolland today. Unfortunate loss, and I feel so sorry for these girls because they worked hard all season to get to this spot, to get to states, and to hopefully bring us a state championship, and I appreciate everything that they've done. However, 3-0 loss to Tolland, and I just feel bad. But we have some recognition that we have to give out. First off, all BL first team. Congratulations to Jane Martin. You're a sophomore and you're making the first team for the All BL for girls soccer. That is incredible. Congratulations. And then all second team was Allison Choquette and Jonna Sandin. Congratulations to both of you on making the second team. And for you guys, I just really want to thank all of you for participating on this team, being a member of this team, being fighters every single game, having a passion for this sport, and defending our school the way you could. And unfortunately, today it was not your day, but I know next season, obviously, all the seniors will be gone, but that is the time where you guys step up to your new roles at a different level and play out of your minds. And I have full confidence that you guys will do that. So thank you for everything that you guys have done this year. And congratulations once again to Jane, Allison, and Jonna for making the All BL teams first and second. That is a great accomplishment in itself. And I am unfortunately sorry about the 3-0 loss, especially because your game was moved from your home turf, which was really going to be your home turf, to Torrington High School, which changes the whole game as it is, because technically it is a road game then to start off for states instead of being at home for one last time this season. And I know how passionate people are in their sports, and now not being able to play one final home game for the seniors especially, I know they'll be upset. However, it's time to move on, but I do want to say thank you for participating in this season. I appreciate everything you guys have done. There is some good news, however, as the boys were able to pull off a 3-1 victory over O'Brien Tech at home in the first round. Moving on to the second round now to play Woodland, which is going to be a tough matchup. But Reiki Weirdsma was able to get a penalty kick to start off the day. And then Dante Badalico and Curtis Blishy were able to put in 2 goals later on in the game. And then they had let up a goal in the last few minutes, although the game was already over by then. O'Brien Tech was already packing their bags, heading back to wherever they came from. Northwestern gets the dub, and now they move on to the second round to play Woodland, which is going to be a very tough game. But congratulations on making it out of the first round. Boys soccer. All BL first and second team. This is very important. I'm going to congratulate these 6 members. For the first team, you have Zachary Barone and Reiki Weirdsma, 2 captains of the team, both making All BL first. That's incredible. And then Trey Newman on the screen right here. All of these guys put in the hard work for the All BL first team. So congratulations to Trey, Reiki, and Zach. And then All BL second team, Dante Badalico, Will Wysocki, and James Nelson. Will Wysocki was one of the leaders in goals this year, so that is a huge achievement in itself. James Nelson is a great all-around player, so obviously he's got to have some credit, and so is Dante. Every single player on this roster full respect from me. I have no disrespect to any players on this roster, no matter what. No matter what they do, no matter what they say, all these guys have my respect for how they are. And I just want to say one more time, congratulations to all 6 of you, Zach, Reiki, Trey, Dante, Will, and James. You guys have all shown the hard work that it takes to be in this league. Now, Trey also has another award, which is why I put his picture up here, because he's one of the main focuses of today. He was voted second best in the entire state, which is incredible. He lost by a single vote in the state voting for best player. Now, Trey is one incredible player. I've known him over the last 6 years. I've gotten the chance to be blessed by watching him play. He is one incredible player. He plays hard. He plays physical and aggressive. He is scoring goals from the defense, and that's something that is very unlikely for the most part, but Trey manages to do it. He is one incredible player, and I hope he goes far with his soccer career. Congratulations to Trey Newman. Even though you didn't get first, second, being the runner-up is just as incredible, and I cannot be more proud of this kid. Now, they go on to play Woodland, and I'm really hoping this is going to be a very good game. They have to go on the road to them, and that is going to be a very interesting game, and I'm really hoping Northwestern gets out of that and can continue this impressive run that they're going on after winning the first round, and now they're going on to the second round. Let's just hope they get the win in the second round. Coming up next, we're going to talk about the girls volleyball first round of states, and a little bit of controversy, but a sweep nonetheless. We're going to talk about it coming up next. Welcome back to the Rundown, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cody Dzis. Follow the Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. Same tag, as always, at NWR7_the Rundown. Please follow every single account that we have. It is, again, career enhancing and career enlightening. And I say it at least 2 or 3 times a video, so I hope you guys actually understand the message, please, by now. Now, what we're going to talk about is the girls volleyball team and their win on Monday over Kaner Tech. And it's actually something that's very important, and I need to touch base on a couple things here. First off, Northwestern got a 3-0 sweep against Kaner Tech. That is one of the most impressive things right now. In states, getting a sweep, no matter how good you are or how low you're ranked or high you're ranked, it's still impressive nonetheless to sweep someone in states. That's one of the bigger things. The first game, it was actually a really close game. Kaner was putting up a pretty good fight, and Northwestern was able to come out with that in a pretty close score. In the second game, Northwestern started to drift away from Kaner Tech and started to develop more chemistry as the game went on. And then in the third game, it was already 2-0 for both games. Northwestern figured, let's just put them down, finally. 3-0 sweep in states, and now they move on to the second round, and that is going to be a pretty good game because they go to Jonathan Law on the road in round 2, and I'm really hoping the girls come out of that with a win and keep moving on because this is one of the most important games of their season, and I really hope they win this. Now, there was an issue, though, and it wasn't a player issue. It wasn't a team issue for us. It was actually a fan issue, and I want to just touch base on this a little bit because, as you know, CIAC rules always state no negative comments are allowed to be made during games, or else that will cause banishment from games or being kicked out. Now, I don't see much of this at Northwestern, but in the last couple of weeks, there have been reports from teams that Northwestern has been a little too negative. And, you know, being part of this fan base, I can understand because I hear what goes on sometimes. I'm not saying anything bad has happened, but there has been reports to the athletic director, and I'm not going to argue with the athletic director or the principal of our school. They know what has happened just by word from the officials, from the other team's coaches. And last game there was another comment to us, and there was a very strong message from the athletic director, which he said if there was one more negative comment in this entire game, not only would the person be banned from all of the basketball games upcoming in the winter, which is a huge thing because you want all of your fans at the games being supportive for your team, which I can understand because, last year a little bit of an issue. However, the second thing was also that we would have to be terminating the game, aka Northwestern would have forfeited against Kaner Tech, and those two games that we had played wouldn't matter. They wouldn't even have anything to do with it. Northwestern would have forfeited straight from there. And that is a huge responsibility that me and any of the fans at Northwestern have to take, and it's something that the team now had to deal with on Monday if we had made any other comment. They were more focused on the game, but the game was now brought to the fans, and the fans brought negative comments to the game. Now, I personally didn't hear anything, obviously. I was just a fan trying to be hype, and that's how everyone is. But there are some fans that occasionally will go over the edge. I mean, you see it all the time in the majors, like major sports. You hear guys taunting people all the time from like the upper rows, like nosebleed seats, and it's like no one can hear you. But I guess there was something that was heard by the Kaner bench. The coach had reported it to the officials, and our athletic director had to talk to the officials, and it just didn't go well. Now, I feel bad, and I'm going to apologize first from the fan base that none of us mean to be negative in any way. We only mean to be positive, and if we are negative, we will correct those mistakes. We will take responsibility for our mistakes, and I will promise you that the rest of the year. Unfortunately, this also came with the consequence on Northwestern's fan base not being able to do the run out, which is what we introduced at one of the last games for volleyball, where we would run out of the gym and do a victory lap around the athletic director's office and around the bathrooms, and you'd go into the gym on the other side and you'd come and high-five Mr. Williams as you're running down. And that was one of the coolest things that we've brought this year as a fan base. But we weren't able to do it as consequence, and I understand that. I'm going to respect it. If there is something that happens again, then I just want to give advice to anyone in the Northwestern fan base. We take this as seriously as possible, and I'm not speaking on behalf of Mr. Williams or our principal, because that wouldn't be right. However, if we do end up saying something, take responsibility. Don't try hiding it, because it's going to come back to bite you anyway. And eventually you will get the information from somebody, and you will be banned. And, it's just not right to disrespect anyone. It's not right to call people out, say people's names as some people are used to doing. I mean, I've heard it all the time throughout my high school life. People were yelling names because they knew someone on the other team or they looked up the roster or something. But I understand that rule. I understand CIAC rules state that no negative activity, no negative comments are allowed from the fan base, and I understand that. And I'm going to apologize right now for the fan base. But if you do end up saying something, take responsibility, become straight up with it, and nothing worse will happen. I promise you that. I took responsibility for my actions last year, as many of you know, when I threw my jersey on the court when Northwestern's basketball team had played Chapag, which was also stupid. They were down 20 in the fourth quarter. What was I doing? Anyway, it's a very important issue, and you got to really just take responsibility if you do end up saying something. So that's just a little bit of advice for my fan base, Northwestern's fan base. if you do something wrong, take responsibility, man up to it. And I'm telling you right now, if you do, nothing worse will happen if you just step up and be brave enough to admit that you did something. But no more negative stuff. Northwestern volleyball played a very good game against Kaner Tech, and now they move on to Jonathan Law. And girls, I really hope you guys take the win, and I really hope to get a word from one of you or two of you before you guys head out on the road to play and defend this school. Coming up next, we're going to do the Q&A. Only 2 questions this week, but it'll be pretty short and very beneficial for my answers. Coming up next is the Q&A. Welcome back to the Rundown, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cody Dzis. Follow the Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at the same handle at NWR7_ the Rundown. Please follow every single account. This is career enhancing and career enlightening, as I always say, at least 2 or 3 times a video, as I said earlier. But now we're going to get on to the business that we always get to at the end of every video. I know you guys are excited because there's only 2 questions this week. It's the Q&A, everyone. And these are actually 2 questions I actually think are pretty important, especially the second one, which I'm going to answer in a little bit. But the first question is pretty good. I'm not going to diss anyone's questions. Obviously, it's not easy to come up with pretty good questions, but these are good questions enough for me. Again, they're not inappropriate. They're not questions I've already answered that you guys have gotten sick of this year, and they're not questions that you guys don't really want to know and are just weird. Alberto, you asked a weird question. I'm not answering that. And I know what it is, so thank you for that. Now, first question is, how far does the boys soccer team go in states? Well, obviously, they just passed the first round, so they're going to the second round. I honestly think that if they play their hearts out this upcoming game, which is tomorrow actually, ladies and gentlemen, but it's on the road, so obviously no one will probably be able to go to it unless it's parents. However, what's going to be very important for these guys is getting this win, but even if they're not expecting the win, they should at least still play their hearts out, say that they tried as best as they can, because you never know in sports. You see in the NCAA tournaments, you see in the playoffs for professional sports, that upsets happen all the time, and this could possibly be a team that can upset as long as they put their minds to it. And I know every single person on this roster can and will put their mind to playing this game, especially considering over half the team is seniors, and they all play their hearts out every single game. So guys, for your last game, most likely, go out and play it like it's your last game ever. Some of you may continue in college, but play this like it's your most important game ever, like your life depends on it, and you guys may just come out with a win, and I'm hoping for that. And honestly, at max, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, they will make it to the 3rd round, but unfortunately be eliminated if they even win this second round matchup. So that's what I truly think. But that is the answer to your first question. And this is the question that probably people haven't even asked, haven't wondered in the last few years, in the last probably 20 years since he's been doing this. But this is a very good question, and I want to touch base on it. Is Coach Seabach on the hot seat this year? This is very interesting. You know, for sports, it's almost like some teams are always going to be very good depending on coaching, and I understand that. Now, over the last couple years, the first team that I really remember seeing play was 3 years ago when I was just a freshman. That team wasn't the best, but they weren't the worst. They were middle of the pack, upper part. And then the next year, you get 2 great players to lead this team in Zach Penn and Ben North, who are both playing college basketball right now, who brought this team to one of the better records in the Berkshire League, brought them to second in the Berkshire League Championship as Wamogo was able to beat them due to a couple people suspended, but we're not going to get into that because it was a couple years ago. But they played really well. And then in states, they got to the semifinals. They had one more game to get to the championship, and it was a close enough game where they can consider it one of the best games they can play. And then another season was last season, and they barely made it in the States. And there were a lot of issues on the team last year. There were guys that weren't working well with other guys. There were guys still learning the system because it was their first year on varsity, and there were a few people that did drop the team. Casey Wongard, Pat Herschel. Other than that, I honestly think that this year, Mr. Seabach has to bring this team far, or at least bring them in the top 3 in the Berkshire League. Now, obviously, it's not as easy as you think, and I'm not disrespecting Mr. Seabach at all. I'm not disrespecting any coaches or anyone on the team for that matter. It's just, I honestly think that this year, if Coach Seabach does not get the team to a pretty good record for the BL, that there's going to be some phone calls to other coaches around the entire state and calls for people who haven't really stepped into the coaching role but are always willing to take it, maybe see what this team can do for the next year. I have full confidence in the basketball team. I have full confidence in Coach Seabach. I am not disrespecting anyone here right now, but to answer the question, is Coach Seabach on the hot seat? If this team doesn't come out with a positive record, then yes, I will say Coach Seabach is going to be on the hot seat. That's just my personal opinion. You don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to listen to me. You could always just listen to your own opinions. And I know for all the basketball players, I know all you guys are going to be watching, and I know all you guys are going to say, Cody, that's completely wrong. Cody, you're an idiot. Now, this is just an opinion, and I was just answering a Q&A, so I hope you guys all understand that. I'm not disrespecting. I'm not trying to disrespect at all, and every one of you knows that. But if there is a hot seat after this year for Coach Seabach, it would be if there was not a positive record. And I hope you guys get to that. I'm giving full respect to you guys. I think you guys will hit that. I think you guys will be number 1 in the Berkshire League, and I think you guys will go pretty far in states this year. That's my personal opinion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. I'm Cody Dzis, and please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Again, career enhancing, career enlightening. Follow the Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at NWR7_the rundown. Please follow all those accounts. I'm really asking for it because right now the Twitter only has 2 subscribers, and it kind of sucks. The Snapchat has a few, but not much has happened on that. That's my fault. I haven't really been active on that as much because I've kind of gone on my own Snapchat and done my own personal thing. However, this is a very important thing, so I want everyone to start adding these accounts. And thank you all for watching. I'm Cody Dzis. This is The Rundown. Peace.